Welcome to the Through It Podcast, conversations about surviving, healing, and growing. With your hosts, Holly Rogers and Paul Spurl. Anytime you have questions or comments about one of the episodes, email us anytime. Podcastthroughit@gmail.com. And now, Holly Rogers and Paul Spurl.
Go again, all right. And we are going. Welcome to it, everybody. This is the Through It Podcast, live in separate locations. We had to send Holly on special assignment, is why she's not in studio with me. But as always, if you need to get a hold of us, it's podcastthroughit@gmail.com. I'm Paul, and that's Holly. Holly, good morning, good evening, good day. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm in sunny Florida, getting to visit with my sister, niece, brother-in-law, and daughter. So it's been fun.
And who are you with today?
I am with one of my beautiful sisters, Danielle. Ooh. And we're in sunny Florida.
And what's going on behind you? That's what I want to know before we even get started. I see someone behind you.
That is my offspring. That's Haley.
Could you tell her to get out of the shot, please? We have to start this whole thing over. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, so you guys are together again today, and that's great. We are talking bebes. We're talking bebes.
Yes.
Danielle, what's your current status with bebes right now?
I have one bebis and one on the way.
Really? All right. Boy, your husband's going to be pissed. Now listen. No, I'm kidding. So you're joining us today because it wasn't just the easiest way to go. Is that right?
That's right.
All right. Give me the quick history then, I guess. How long have you been with what's his name again? Are we allowed to talk about him? What's his name?
Yeah. His name is Garrett.
And, all right. And how long we been with him?
Since 2017. And we got married during fun COVID times in 2020. And
well, there's only two things that happen during COVID. You're either going to get married and start having babies, or you're going to get ticked off and then want to get split up. So I'm glad you went that way with it. So, did you, when you got married in 20, were you like, okay, let's start popping kids out, or were you just living, or what was the plan?
No, we got married and then wanted to just like spend more time enjoying and traveling and doing that kind of stuff. And then, gosh, I don't even know how old I was in 2020, but wanted to start having babies.
Say subtract 5 or 6 years, 5 years from 2026.
We're not going to do math.
There's a lot of you, so it's kind of hard to do. But anyway, all right. So so you're just like most couples. All right, it's probably about that time we start popping out kids, or trying to at least, and whatever.
Yep. Yeah, I was 32 when we decided. We were like, okay, it's time. And yeah, I don't know. Do you want me to go into my story at that point?
Well, yeah, no, I was just, so I wanted to know, I guess I just wanted to know when you needed to start seeking help, I guess. Where did things start to change, and how was that process? Because, the idea is that somebody out there is watching this and going, oh, hell, I'm trying the same thing. And I guess we had a story earlier with another sister, and there's a whole farm full of them, I guess. But anyway, that they went through a certain way to do it. I want to know what your situation was and how you guys handle it. And Holly, you're going to know more than I will, of course, but just the history behind it and when you started to go, oh, uh-oh.
Sure. So we have a little bit of a different story because we decided we were going to try to get pregnant. We got pregnant right away and did the whole not gender reveal, but like I had a little chalkboard made with a onesie and surprised Garrick when he got home from work. And then not long after, I was only 5 weeks and 3 days pregnant, and I woke up in the middle of the night with a lot of pain on my left side. And I had a baby book that just had every step. Like it was before you're pregnant, during pregnancy, and after. And I just happened to be reading it, and it had talked about ectopic pregnancies. And I immediately something like, I don't know, intuition or whatever. I was like, I think I'm having an ectopic pregnancy, which is weird because it felt like I had every symptom that I'd read about. So it was pain on the left side or right side, just depends on where it's at. But mine was pain on the left side, I had shoulder pain and I had to use the bathroom, and it like all came at the same time. And I went back to bed just thinking like, I'm going to sleep it off. We'll figure it out. Cause it was like 3 or 4 in the morning or something. And it persisted. So I woke up and I told Carrick, I was like, something's not right. I think we need to go to the doctors. So we went to the ER so many times now. I'm trying to remember. So
Hold on, before you tell me about the ER thing, pronounce this again. What kind of pregnancy?
ectopic.
Ectopic. All right. What does that mean for dumb guys like me who get weirded out by it?
So an ectopic can basically be any pregnancy that does not implant inside the uterus. So it necessarily, I think a lot of the times it's in the or where it will end up in the fallopian tube and attach, but it can be other places as well. Mine in the ER specifically, we found out that it was in my fallopian tube, so my left tube. And then, yeah, so because I was 5 weeks and 3 days, I was on this like early enough train that when you have an ectopic, unfortunately, if it continues growing in that location, you can have major issues, internal bleeding, and some people can die from it. So unfortunately, it was a life-threatening situation. And I was able to, instead of doing surgery that day, they were able to give me what's called methotrexate, which is a type of chemotherapy. And it stops the cells from growing or dividing, something like that. So it's also used for rheumatoid arthritis. Side note. But I was able to do that, and that just requires like complete rest, because even during that time frame, even that early, there's always a chance of rupture. So you're basically kind of on bed rest, not really supposed to be doing much, and then you have to consistently go back. I think it was like every day, or I can't remember exactly how often, but I had to go get blood work checked for my HCG numbers to make sure they were going down. So that sucked as a first time pregnancy.
Oh, and understood. And so now at the 32 with this going on, I mean, you're a relatively healthy person. Besides that, I mean, you're ready to go to work, you're ready to do things, but you have to be stuck in bed and and rest and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was annoying. I'm not the best rule follower either. I was like helping Garrick chop down a tree at one point. I yelled at her.
All right.
I was just sick of being in bed.
So then that one, unfortunately, it is what it is there, and that's a whole nother show. But so when did we then say, now we're going to try it again, kind of thing? Or did we talk about getting help yet, or did we just let's have some tequila and see what happens?
No, my doctor actually told me, he's like, Danielle, you're perfectly healthy, you're fine. Just there's a 1 in a million chance it'll happen again. You're good. But you do have to wait at least 3 months after the methotrexate shot. It depletes your folic acid in your body. So you have to kind of build that back up, and you obviously don't want the chemicals in your body when trying to make a new baby. So you have to wait 3 months. So we waited 3 months, tried, got pregnant again. So we were like, yay, this was easy. Unfortunately, that ended up being another ectopic. So
really,
yeah, that was lame. And then,
well, Danielle, you're 1 in a million, I guess.
Oh, well, that's what I said. And my doctor was kind of shocked by that too. But again, kind of same thing. To the same date, it was 5 weeks, 3 days. I had recognized it. There was bleeding too. I guess that's another sign for people to look out for. Not just because sometimes you'll get implantation bleeding, which can be like brown, which is normal. But this was like red blood.
All right. So let me ask you this, and we're now on number 2. This is crazy. Where's your head at during all this?
The first one, I was just kind of like, that sucks. The second one was really frustrating at that point. You really start, I don't know, just overthinking everything and wondering and just having sadness surrounding it, I guess, because it's supposed to be a happy time. And so
Sure, yeah.
early, both of the times, it's like you want to share these things. Like we sent my mom the first time, like a little egg that she got to crack to say she was a grandma and cute little things like that. So it's disappointing that you have to share it too. So I'm like just the type of person though that when I have to do something, I just do it. Like I try not to think too much about it. And I'm like, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? So I just kind of get through it. So with the second one, it was similar. It's like, okay, let's go get the shot. Let's do this. And at that point though, we were like, okay, something's not going great for us. It's unsafe to continue trying. So that's when we started looking at IVF.
All right. So how does that whole work? Holly, you're going to know more than I will here. So take me through how that, how did you make that decision and all that stuff?
So Brittany and Mark went through IUI, which is intrauterine insemination. And what ended up being the solution for Garrick and Danielle was IVF, which is in vitro fertilization. So it's a more, I guess, aggressive process, more in depth. There's you went through a lot of shots and tests and all of these things had to align in order for them to be able to, I think, extract the embryos or
The eggs.
the
All the
eggs,
folds of it, yeah.
and in order to create the embryos.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so it was a process, and I'll
So
let
tell me
her.
how long this process is going on for. How many weeks or months or whatever?
Well, really quick, I'll let you or the crowd know. So IUI, in the very simple terms, and this is not to like make it simplistic sounding, but it's basically a turkey baster that they go up and they'll shoot in the sperm and it goes through the whole process, right? It's just closer. IVF, the reason we chose IVF over IUI is because IVF, you bypass the tubes. So we were able to just immediately stick the embryo in the uterus, call it a day. So we didn't have to worry about that. So that's why we chose IVF route. And that process for us took a while just because it was testing, and the male has to typically get tested too, just to make sure the sperm is doing well. And then I went through testing and all the things. And one thing that everybody does too, which we don't fully understand, is you have to have an iodine injected through your tubes to see if they're open, and both of mine are open. So fun times, which is a good thing, but it's like weird that the ectopics kept occurring. So from there, it was just a lot of testing. It probably took a year plus. And in that time, it's a lot of shots. So I guess to start the IVF process, if we're going to break it down, is you want to extract as many follicles as possible. So you're getting ultrasounds and seeing the month that you have good follicles with no cysts and stuff. Like everything has to be perfect for them to say, okay, this is the month. Then you'll start doing shots. I took 3 of them in the stomach at first, and that is what I thought was the shots. So this is something I didn't understand that I would hope helps other people recognize is you go through like 10 days of shots, 3 shots in your stomach. It's a process. And then you do what's called a trigger shot right in your butt.
I got to give her one.
She did. Thank you for that. And that's the scary one because if you look up videos, I mean, the needle's like this long and it's in the muscle. So it's kind of scary. But I got through the 10 days, and during those 10 days too, I was making videos. So my mindset, I guess you asked about that earlier, was it was tough with the ectopic. So at that point, between the ectopics, between the methotrexate, between all of the hormones and the drugs and everything that I was on prior to that, I was definitely kind of feeling a low, and just, I think just sadness and stress in general. So
what if, right?
What was that?
What if, right? Like, oh my God, all this work I'm doing. What if?
Yeah. Yeah. And
well, the hormones alone, just how that affects you. Yeah.
It's just a lot. And everybody's affected by them different, but I was a very balanced human before this. So
All right.
during that year, I was pretty, there was times of crying and sadness and stuff. And it was interesting from a husband perspective because Garrick was not used to that with me. Like I've always just been kind of a happy, balanced human, thankfully. And so that was a side of it that he just kind of struggled with because he was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help you. And honestly, for anybody out there, husband, just support, just hug them, tell them it's going to be okay. And just like be there for them. I think that's the best advice that I could give and have some sympathy.
I was gonna say, I felt like he was from afar as your sister. He was super supportive, and you were needing your family at one point, and I think he flew you home kind of.
Yeah, he booked a trip and was like, she clearly needs her people. So he was very good.
Yeah.
And he always set up the shots for me too. So he was like Mr. Mixer for the pharmacy stuff. And he was excited. He learned all the steps and he took care of making sure they were done correctly and just making sure everything was right. So that was super helpful. But anyway, during that process, you're sad. So things that I was doing to make myself feel better during those 10 days, we took videos. We made a little sign that said like day 1 of shots. And then we'd send a video to the family every day of the shot, just so we had the memories, but also it was just something fun about it. It was like, okay, let's make this video. Let's, just document it.
And we liked it because, she's 1,200 miles away from us. And so we felt like we were a part of the process and could support her better.
Yeah.
Because we were witnessing what she was going through.
So I
in some ways I like that idea, but now here's, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but what if you had to then reverse all that again? Didn't you get that fear that maybe, oh crap, if this doesn't work, I now have to tell everybody again that I'm not pregnant? You know what I'm saying?
Well, at that point, those shots are specifically just to make you have more follicles. So there's no
Okay,
pregnancy.
so you're technically not pregnant yet.
Not at all. So
okay.
the IVF process with those beginning shots is like typically a woman drops 1 to 2 eggs monthly, I think. We'll go with that.
You're right.
Yeah. The goal is to have as many follicles drop as possible. So that's what all of those shots are doing. So that when they can go in and extract all these follicles, you have a higher number of follicles, which increases your chance of them turning into more embryos for you.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're sharing the story, but you're not sharing anything except, hey, we're in the process, but there's nothing to report yet, I guess.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was just the beginning process. And then, so I made videos and that really helped me because it was like something to look forward to. It was involving them and just highly recommend that for anyone just to make it more fun. So that's the first part. And then you go in, they put you under, you go get your follicles extracted. And then from there, it's a really simple process from my understanding. They just dump the sperm on your follicles and see what sticks. And so they do their thing, but then medically they can also help. I think it's called I'm not even going to say what it is, but because I can't remember, but where they actually inject some follicles too, just to help it along. And then it's a waiting game, which is almost one of the hardest parts. It's like this waiting game of you have 21 follicles, which sounds like such a big number. And this is one thing that also shocked me too, is you can come out with 30 follicles, you can come out with 4 follicles. And all that matters is quality over quantity in the end. Yeah. So those numbers dwindled like crazy. So it's like we started with 21 follicles, and then you see how many survive past so many days, and then you see how many actually take the sperm and continue growing. Like it's a whole process of dwindling down. So we ended up with 5 total that were complete embryos. And then from there, they will freeze them after so many days. And at that point, they're all graded as well. So Is this okay? I'm just like,
Yeah,
sorry.
no, you're doing
Oh,
great.
please do,
No,
because so this is all done. Just so I'm clear, this is all done in a lab, Kenny. It's not. We haven't put anything in you yet.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
It's all
Okay.
done in the lab. That's why it's such a long process.
So what, at this point, where they're freezing your eggs,
Yes.
from start to finish for you guys, how long was that process?
I don't remember.
It seemed, for me, it seemed like
Forever.
it was well over a year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, another
it's like-
year.
but that's not for everybody either. Like I had more testing. I had a surgery to remove one of my tubes.
Oh,
So I had to heal from that. And like, so the process takes a while, but it's not a year for everybody.
Well, and you would go back for a checkup and then some other number would be off. And they were like,
Correct.
we can't do it yet because this
Yep.
is off. And it was,
Yeah. So you have to have everything aligned, including if there's one cyst that showed up that month, they're like, sorry, we got to wait till next month.
really?
Yeah. So everybody's different. It typically should be faster than a year, though, for the person that doesn't have anything like that.
So are you remaining positive, or are you ready to flip a table over?
Both.
Okay.
she would
Okay.
Snapchat us and which was good for, I mean, she was very good about bringing us along and through her
I think I
process.
had to, like mentally, because I'm here alone in Florida with no family. And to be honest, all my mom friends moved away. So I was like, dang it, for the most part. And so that was like my support system and just like kind of talking about it. And yeah, so some days I was like positive and other days I was sad. And so it was all over the map. So my suggestion though is just to have a support system and to talk about it, because one of those things I feel like people are uncomfortable sharing that sometimes. And I think personally, at least for myself, that made it harder, like if you weren't talking about it. So I was happy to share it with anyone.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay. All right. So let's get through the year-ish or so, and then when can we start sharing good news? When can we start snapping some pictures and all that? What's the what? Tell us about how when you finally got the stars aligned and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So you get your embryos, they get graded, which we'll come back to that story. And if you want me to, if we have
Yes, no, for sure.
So they get graded, meaning like best, worst, blah, blah, blah. And from there, again, just everything has to align. Everything has to look good within the ultrasounds and your uterus, and everything's ready to go for them to say, okay, you're ready for implantation. And when you're doing that, you'll also start more shots. So that is what I didn't realize. I thought the first round of shots was it. I'm like, woo, I'm done, got through this.
Yeah.
Little did I know that the next shots were every single time for 10 weeks in your butt, and it was an oil. So
Really?
yeah, super fun. It's really not as bad as I was anticipating it to be, but I have fear of shots. So just for anybody out there that has a fear of shots, it's completely doable. It's really not bad, but you just have to like breathe and get through it every day.
Wow.
But yeah, so it's progesterone and oil. And this is one really helpful tip for me. Garrick would wake up every morning and roll the oil in a heating pad to warm it up so that it's not as thick. And then I would put a little eye mask with like beads in it in the microwave. And I would use a cooling pack first. So I would cool the area. And I got monster ice packs too, because it's just like whatever I can do to make this fun, I'm going to make it fun. So I bought like weird ice packs. I'm like, here's the purple monster today. And it sounds silly, but it made a difference for me. And then, so Garrick would do my progesterone shots every day. And that was the hardest part because it's an oil and it was big and it was scary, but he did an awesome job. But to prep that too, I would do the ice, he would inject, and then I bought an eye mask that had beads in it and I'd put it in the microwave. And warm it up, and then stick it just like over the edge of my pants. So one side would be hitting the area that I just had the shot, and the other side would hang. So I could walk around and do stuff. But the reason for that is you want to keep that area a little warm so that the oil can spread easier. And then I bought a just one of those massage guns, and I massaged the area over the beads. And then I would go for a walk for 15 minutes, because the more you move, it's moving through your muscles. Because if you don't do those right, you can end up with massive bruises, massive knots, like a whole other side of it, right? You're already injecting stuff, but then if you don't do the process after, it can cause more issues. So, highly recommend going through that process with everybody. I never had a knot and I never got a bruise. So
wow. Okay. So was it less? How do I say this? Was it less painful to go for a walk? Because I feel like if I get a shot in the ass, I'm gonna need a chance to lay down for a minute. But you're saying that go for a walk and massage it out.
yeah, immediately. Don't sit
Oh,
down.
okay.
You just start moving that muscle to let it do its thing to disperse. And that way it's not all in one area, because that's what's going to cause the knot. So just the movement is super helpful. And the warmth too was a huge
Okay.
deal. Yep. So that was fun. And you do that for 10 weeks. So you start it before you're pregnant. And then soon after you start those, then you finally get we get to go and implant the embryo. And then you implant the embryo.
How do they implant the embryo?
Oh, so you are awake for it, and which is pretty cool. They use a tiny little catheter and then another catheter inside of that, and you get to watch on the screen as they put the
Really?
little embryo in. Yeah, so that was really cool. So it's pretty quick too, and pretty painless, which sounds scary because you're putting a catheter in, but it wasn't bad at all. And then, yeah, so you go and you wait and you hope that you're pregnant, and they tell you to wait. But I was testing 3 days after, which obviously
So you'd spend a few bucks on some tests, I say.
I did. Yeah.
All right.
And day 6 with my daughter is when I saw my pregnancy test be positive. And they have you
Did you
wait.
shoot right in? Did you go right to the doctor then to verify, or what did you do?
No. They are verifying with you. Like, they draw your blood, have you come in for blood work, and they verify. I think it's like within 2 weeks or something like that. And then they give you the phone call to let you know if you are or are not pregnant. And they immediately ask everybody, they're like, did you already test? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So they're excited to share that. And then you're continuing those shots every day, the progesterone and oil. And you 10 weeks.
And you got the phone call at the airport, didn't you? Was it at the airport? Because I remember because I remember it was Eden's bachelorette party when you told us. And I think
When I just found it out.
you just got the official notice at the airport.
Yeah, probably.
I think that's, how I remember it.
Yeah, you're probably right. I can't even remember.
So you find out, you get the blood, you're testing all over the place. We get that. How did that pregnancy go?
Oh, great. Well, I mean, great. I'm pregnant, so it's exciting. Everything looked good. My weird thing with pregnancy, I guess, is that I start vomiting at 11 weeks. That's my thing,
Yeah.
which is unusual. Normally it like starts early, and you stop that after like once you're into the second trimester, and my body's like, no. We're going to start late.
So other than the vomiting, you were then, lack of a better term, you were more doing a normal thing then. The baby's growing, everything seems normal and healthy at that time then.
Yeah, so you continue going to your IVF doctor up until 10 weeks. And then once you hit that 10-week mark, you graduate from IVF, and then you're off to a typical, your OB, whoever that is. So, and I don't know if people do it differently or not, but I was considered a high risk. And I don't know if that was because I was IVF. I know that sometimes can put you in that high risk, depending on your OB, I think. Other times you're not. So, but yeah, then we were pregnant. We're very lucky. It worked on the first time. I know that's not the case for everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were blessed with our little girl.
But wait,
All right.
there's more.
Yes. What part?
The girl part.
Okay.
Yes.
So
So this is where it gets extra interesting.
Okay.
Yes.
So going back to the grading part. So we have these embryos. And really quick with that, we had 5. We did the genetic testing on all of them. And what that entails is them actually like taking a tiny biopsy of the embryos and making
Oh, wow.
sure that they're healthy and good embryos. So 4 of them were good embryos. And then our 5th one, I don't remember exactly what was wrong with it, but it wasn't a perfect embryo. Something just for people out there to know is my doctor wanted to keep that 5th embryo because she said you never know where science is going to go, where if there's an extra chromosome or anything like that, they might learn how to change that to turn it into a perfect embryo. And from just my own learning too, there are plenty of people that have this is not science-based, but I've just heard stories of people implanting, the unlikely embryo, and it was perfect. So just something to keep in mind out there. But anyway, so they're graded on a scale, AA, AB, BB, CC, all these different things that I don't know what they mean. But our grades were, I mean, how much detail? Like, should I go into part of what we're studying it? Okay. So our grades were, we had an AA, we had an AB, and both of those we knew were boys. So our best grades, AA and an AB, were boys. Then we had 2 BBs. Both of our BBs were girls. So when we were family planning, is what they called it, we said just put in the best embryo. We don't care about the gender. So we're automatically assuming it's a boy. Both of our boys, AA and AB, no matter what, our top 2 are the best grade. So we go have the implant and it worked. We're pregnant. At 20 weeks, we do it's called an anatomy scan. So that's where they're checking everything, right? Their brain, their heart, their all of it. And that's when you really see and identify a gender at that point. So we already told the lady, they always check. They're like, do you know the gender? Do you want to know it? And we're like, oh yeah, it's a boy. She was like, okay. So we do the anatomy scan and she immediately is like, oh, so they told you it was a boy. And I was like, yeah. I was like, why are you asking it like that? And my ears perked up immediately. My husband's did not. He just thought she was like making a statement. And I was like, why are you asking it like that? And she was like, I'm going to go get the doctor. And I was like, no.
Yeah. What's happening here?
Going on? And she's like, I see female anatomy. And I was like, okay. And then my husband's ears started perking up too. And we were like, what's going on? So at that point, it was scary for us because we know that we just had an embryo transferred and you just don't know, right? You're hopeful that they got the right one in there, but we're like, why did this happen? Is this the wrong somebody else's embryo get implanted?
You guys did paternity test, didn't you?
Once she was born, because otherwise we would have had to do like the amniocentesis or something.
Yeah.
A big needle that had risks. So we're both, wheels turning. The doctor was actually so real with us, pulled us aside and was like, okay, let's talk about this. And my husband was like, I want raw and real. Like, what's the situation? Like, why is this happening? And he's like, there's a couple case scenarios. You could have just the wrong embryo, but it's still your baby. It could be somebody else's, or it could also be that they implanted a boy genetically, but it has girl parts. Or yes, yeah. So there were a couple of things that could have been options, and so our wheels are turning. We call our IVF clinic. Long story short, turns out it was just a miscommunication, and what we didn't realize that we would like other people to know is that embryo grading can change. So when we did that was an important part of the story. When we went for our implantation, the embryologist said, we're putting in your AB. So we only had an AB boy. That was it. And we wondered, we were like, why are they putting in the AB instead of the AA? But we didn't think much about it. It's already unthought. I was just like, whatever, that's what she chose. But we only had an AB boy. So what we didn't recognize is that they thaw them at a certain point at a certain grade. But when they are unthawed, they can continue developing. And so our BB girl ended up grading up to an AB. But we would have no idea about that. We didn't know that was possible. We didn't know anything about that. So it was just like a shock to us. So anyway, we talked through it. She's ours. But
Okay, so when you have this baby and they lift up the baby, okay, it's a girl, cool. Then you do testing to make sure
yes, yeah.
it is indeed yours. Okay, good. So it's just it. So I know we only have a couple minutes. I know we only have a couple minutes left, but I gotta ask this here. A communication problem. That's all it was. It was like
apparently embryologists, like the grading system is completely subjective to the embryologist.
Oh, okay.
So we understood when you have an AA or an AB, that's pretty definitive to us. Like in our minds, it's like, okay, there's a grading system. But an embryologist can look at one and be like, oh, that's an AA. And the other embryologist can look at it and be like, oh, that's a B. So we were very confused on why she picked our BB, which is our third best. And her reason was that it was meaty. She was the meatiest. So
okay.
we're like, okay.
Looks like I have a shot now. Good.
Yeah. So that's how we had a fun little scare there, but everything is great and she is ours.
They told us in a cute way, the video you sent.
Oh, yeah.
We were planning her baby shower.
And it was boy.
And it was trash animals was the theme. So possums, skunks, raccoons, and then we got the news. And I don't know if you want to share how.
Yeah, we did a little onesie and that said plot twist on the front. Another video.
Yeah.
So we thought twins because she has.
I'm a twin.
A twin brother, my brother as
well.
well.
Yeah, that's right. You are.
So we were like, oh, it's going to be twins. Because you know how you hear when people do IVF,
Sure.
You know, sometimes you end up with 8 babies and all of that kind of stuff. So that's what we thought. So it was a shock. So anyhow, continue.
Yeah. So that was it. We did the onesie that said plot twist and then we turned it around and it said, it's a girl. So that was our announcement. And yeah, but she's great. And
now,
oh yeah, so we went through our second IVF cycle. I'm pregnant again.
Okay, so this is IVF again then.
Yes, and it is a boy. So
this is AA now or AB? Do we know what A it is here?
We don't know now. So they stopped using that grading system after that happened. And yeah, so they let the embryologist pick. However, this time we said we wanted a boy. So when they came in the room, they had us like all announce and raise our hands that we know it's a boy. And like they have a whole new system in place. So that was comforting. And it is a boy. We've already confirmed.
So how far along are you?
14 weeks.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's 3 6. Okay, I'm with you. And right now everything healthy, everything seems good and blah blah blah. Okay.
And the process was simpler this time.
Yes. Yeah. So first IVF and talking about all the shots, the progesterone and oil for 10 weeks. This one, so I was like borderline high blood pressure with my first one. So when I let my IVF doctor know about that this time, she said that there is a correlation between progesterone and oil and possible preeclampsia, high blood pressure. So when she learned that about me, she said, well, let's do a natural cycle this time, which means we're using more of my body's natural ovulation and everything. So completely a different process. I had one shot. I had already had my embryos. So obviously I didn't have to go through that first portion of shots, but I was able this time just to do a vaginal progesterone and one trigger shot. That was it for the whole thing. So it was way simpler, more cost effective, and I was able to just let my body do its natural thing too. So something that you can always ask your IVF clinics about if you can do like a natural cycle. And yeah, so now here we are, 14 weeks with our little boy.
There we go. All right. So I guess wrap us up with the some depressing advice. And what I mean by that is when you're thinking, holy crap, it's been another few months and it's still here and I'm getting older and oh my God, all the crazy stuff that goes through your mind, which understandable. How does one get through it? I mean, how the hell did you stay sane? And what is a good piece of advice for those who are going to take away with us?
I don't think I did stay sane. And I think that was part of it. I had to break down. And I think that's okay. And I think it was good. But I do think the support, like the family support, anyone, your friends, your family, your husband is crucial. Get them involved as much as you can, because you just need it. Mentally, it's a hard situation. At least it was for me, and it's not for everybody. But it's just continuing to go through it. Literally, there are so many appointments and everything. It's always just looking ahead. And I will say my IVF process, I've been very blessed with it working the first time and the second time. That's not the case for everybody. So there's going to be completely different stories out there with IVF. So I fortunately have had God and been blessed and just a really easy story compared to what some people have gone through. So, but regardless, it was a process and it is hard. So I think just being positive and trying to do as much as you can to make it a positive experience. Because even if it doesn't work out in the end, at least you've made some good memories along the way that you're like, okay, I went through this, I got through this, and hopefully, you'll get your baby someday.
So a lot of people in my brain, I'm thinking, I don't want to tell anybody anything. I can't go through this again. I don't want to admit it. I don't want to talk about it. But you're saying the communication part of it, the videos and everything, that actually was helpful to get through it that way by communicating, by talking about it, by talking to Holly, by whatever.
Yeah, I think with me too, like our first one, it was exciting, right? It's your first time getting pregnant. You get to share those things. And a lot of people will wait till that like 12, 13 week mark. And I was like, I'm done with that. Like, I want to feel the joy from this. I'm going to
Yeah.
share early because let me feel that joy at first. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But and that might not be everybody's opinion, but that's how I wanted to do it in the end. I'm like, I'm sick of feeling like crap. Like, let me have something exciting about this. So just a positive pregnancy test in general is a beautiful thing. Even if it doesn't work out, that yes, that sucks. And that's a whole nother trial and tribulation to go through.
Sure,
But
sure.
but for me, I'm like, I got to like send a little egg to my mom. Like it was fun. So that's how I got through it. Really, it's just trying to make those good moments good.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions, Holly, you can think of at this time?
No, I think we covered everything that I was hoping to. So yeah, she and Garrick had a doozy of an experience, and I was not happy that they went through it, obviously, but Brittany and her were pregnant together.
Yep.
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that was hopefully helpful because they could kind of compare notes because they were both having challenges, and I was.
Yeah. And actually with Brittany's IUI stuff, like with the doctor being not on a schedule, I was like, Brittany, that seems weird. My doctor gave me a calendar and they're open 24/7, like whenever you need them. And she was like, yeah, mine didn't do that. And I'm like, yeah, that's not right.
Yeah. So there were a lot of note comparisons, and that may have encouraged Britt and Mark to end up going to Troy to give it a second go.
I mean, I don't know if that did, but either way, we did have each other and it helped.
Yeah. So it was good.
And I think,
recapping from a previous episode, Brittany Mark went and then jumped doctors completely, went somewhere else and had a much better experience. And I guess that's hopefully we taught somebody that also, that if you feel like something ain't right, it's completely okay to speak up. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And second opinions.
Yes.
Different doctors. It's a long process. So you feel like you have to stick with somebody, but it's okay if you feel in your gut that it's not the right person to move along. So
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Her name is Danielle. She's at it for round number 2. So hopefully we will get some ideas, or be able to see some pictures here soon. And we're going to open it up to questions for you. So if you're okay with that, if you have any questions for Danielle about any of this process, it's podcastthroughit@gmail.com. Put question for Danielle right there in the subject line, and we'll try to get it forwarded off to you. Maybe we'll do a follow-up one day, that kind of thing. But thanks for playing along with us today.
yeah, thanks for having me. Sorry I spewed.
No, it's very informative.
It's all right. We can understand why we started a little late. And here's all I know, Holly. Thanks for heading down to Florida to do this without me. Sorry, thanks a lot.
Of course, anytime.
Come on down next time, Paul.
Will do. All right, guys, that's it for us. We're back again next time. Keep it right here. It's the Through It podcast.
Bye.
This has been a presentation of the Through It podcast. Conversations about surviving, healing, and growing. With your hosts, Holly Rogers and Paul Spurl. Questions or comments about one of the episodes, or if you want to be a sponsor of the Through It podcast, email us anytime. podcastthroughit@gmail.com. Produced and sponsored in part by the Entertainment Network. EnterTheNetwork.com. Thanks very much for listening and being with us while we get through it.